Hello, my name is Andrew Courtois, and I'm going to go over our game Calcesa Abridged or Besieged, sorry. And I worked on level design and sound design along with Sam, and I just want to go over a little bit with you. So this is the tutorial level, and in the tutorial level, we wanted to introduce some of the mechanics that we were going to use later in the game. So what we had to do, or what we had was the character would spawn in this little area at the very beginning of the game. Each of these signs introduces a new game mechanic that is used immediately after. And we needed an area where the character could crouch because that is going to be a major part in the game later. And so we made this area where you had to crouch in order to get through. And some of these tiles had a little bit of an interesting collision on them, where we made the collision be exactly the same as the slope, which caused the character to slip off. And so Brantley actually showed us how to change the walkable angle on the character to allow him to walk up these slopes with ease. And we wanted to have this tutorial level introduce a bunch of different concepts. For example, collecting scraps, collecting bolts, which is this right here, and using the forge. And all of these needed to be in this relatively compact level. So we needed to have it swoop a little bit in order to get enough space, and we also wanted to have enough space for a combat. And so when you go to the forge, you can craft a sword or a dagger, and then you use it against the scuttler. And each of these signs introduces that fact. And when we initially made the level, we noticed that when you hit play, if you go right up to the sides, you would have been able to see black. So what we did to fix that was we added a buffer. So normally we would have ended it here, but we added quite a few buffer slides to make sure that no one can see the black background behind the level. Although you can still see it here, but that's relatively minor in my opinion. And so the tutorial was one level that we did. Steelhold is another. This one was primarily done by Sam, and he did the level design where each of these would be a building, and we have not yet finished that. And you also have to interact with the mayor in order to continue with the level and kill the scuttlers in order to get a ticket. And this is going to be at some point going to be an interactable, so that you actually can go inside the building and see for yourself about everything that goes on inside. And you would go in here to another part of Steelhold for the station, and this is where you would go into the train station. Now initially we also wanted to have secrets everywhere, but this was taken out due to time constraints. But this was still left in, but it's not visible when playing the game, so yeah. And on all these levels you'll notice that we have buffers in order to make sure that no black screen is visible until you get to the actual train station itself. Because we could not figure out a way to fix this to where it was relatively easy, so you can still see some black screen. Actually, that's relatively fixable, but when you jump up, you can, because this is the top of the train station, so we didn't want to breach that very much. And this also kind of trails off, but yeah, it's not too visible from there. And we also did the sound design, so whenever you hear the jump, you kind of hear an oof, and that oof is actually just me speaking into the mic saying oof. Initially we were going to go with chiptune, but we eventually scrapped that because one of our group members did not like the chiptune and didn't think that it matched the style of the game. But it is what it is. But we made a bunch of different chiptune sounds, and I think they were all good. They covered a bunch of other stuff, like these scuttler enemies would have had a pretty interesting death sound. Let's see if I can find it. Like that, or like this. So chiptune, in order to make these chiptune sounds, we used software called Chiptone, a website rather. And this is just, you can make a bunch of different sounds and then edit them as you would. I got vibrato, harmony, and all that. It's very helpful, very interesting. In addition to that, we did not actually make the music. That was for shop. Let's see. Let's look at the train cars. The train cars, we used the tiles that Stefan gave us, but it was not extremely varied, so we had to get a little creative. So some of these briefcases are sideways, rotated, all that stuff in order to give it a little variety. And on the boss levels and mini boss levels, we changed the carpet completely to red to indicate that this is more important, but we did not end up getting the boss or mini boss programmed, so that will have to come later. But yeah, this is about everything. Some challenges we faced was limited tile set, the sounds we don't really know how to deal with sounds that well in terms of musical softwares like DAWs, although I'm trying to work on that. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you very much.